Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I've got something a bit different for you today. I've got Craig Wilson, also known as Dr. Fret, here with me. Hi Craig.
Hello.
I'm just going to be asking him a couple of questions about his new creation, the floating fretboard. So yeah, what is the Dr. Fret floating fretboard, and why would someone want to use it, would you say?
Okay, the Dr. Fret Floating Fretboard is a retrofit solution for guitars that have warped or twisted necks, bad bow or relief, have a truss rod that is broken. Truss rod is a metal bar that generally goes through a lot of guitar necks. Some older guitars, indeed some newer guitars, don't have them. This guitar doesn't have one, for instance. The idea is that if you took a guitar to a luthier, it could cost you a lot of money to try and get it repaired. And a lot of times with bad, twists and bows, it's just not repairable. So if you have a guitar that you particularly like and you want to save, this is a cheap and cost-effective way of doing so. The floating fretboard, in essence, is a standard fretboard that you attach to a guitar. It sits closely to the fretboard, has 17 adjustable anchor points that allow you to get a really fine-tuned setup for the guitar.
Brilliant. You kind of just touched on it, but what kind of gave you the idea for the floating fretboard? I mean, obviously, apart from being a cost-effective solution for any problems you might have with the guitar neck.
Okay. Well, initially, with this guitar, I built a few guitars and I was getting itchy feet and wanted to build something else. Didn't have much money. This was actually an old mahogany table that I got from a charity shop, and some other leftover bits and bobs from previous builds. I wanted to experiment with sound, so this has a floating back piece, and I wanted to experiment with putting piezo pickups in different places and to try and get different sounds. And then one night I was just thinking, well, why not do the same thing with the fretboard? And then the more I thought about having a fretboard that was not glued to the neck like traditional fretboards are, I thought, well, there's an application there. There's an application to repair guitars that have warped or twisted necks. So that's where the idea came from. This is very much a prototype, and I'll talk a bit more about this guitar in a while to show you how the application worked with this.
Brilliant. That obviously does lead us quite well onto our next question, which is how does it play and sound, which I think a lot of people will want to know, as it is quite a new creative idea that no one's seen before.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think, with this guitar, for instance, I built this specifically to showcase the fretboard. So the neck has no truss rod, and it's also not flat. So the fretboard that I made, if you sat it and glued it to this neck, it just wouldn't work because the neck's not flat. So as you can probably see, the fretboard is at different heights along the neck, and that is to compensate for the bend, so that I can have a nice close action, and a great sound. Obviously, we've got air movement going through here, and one of the things about this guitar when I first started building it is I wanted to see what it was like to have lots of air movement in a guitar. Vibrating air hitting your ears is what it's what creates sound. With this as well, I also built some cool funky little lights into it. I don't know if you can see there. Quite fun. But how does it sound? Okay, so I'm plugged into a Fender Twin valve amp using a Boss SD1 overdrive pedal. Electronics wise, I've got a Demartio Air Norton, which is great pickup. Just I wanted it to be basic, and also several piazzos located throughout the body. One I did have a mix, but I actually removed the ones that were on the neck side because I just didn't like the sound. So this is how the guitar sounds. Quite a nice clean sound, you know, it's got plays very nicely. I mean, with a bit of overdrive, it's got a real clean, airy sound. Even still, it's actually plays very nicely, and it's got a nice quack mix with the piazzos.
Brilliant, that sounded really good. I think a lot of people, you know, not skeptical, but were unsure of how well that would play because it's not, you know, professionally built in the sense of built in like a factory by one of the big brand names.
I mean, it does have a fairly thick neck on this. Now, if I was to, there are lots of things about this guitar that if I was to do again, I'd do differently. You know, I would have a thinner neck. But even saying that, you know, the retrofit onto an existing guitar neck is fairly straightforward. You know, you take a warped neck, remove the frets, try and level it maybe with a block plane or a hand plane, but you know, not necessary to do that. It's attached by 17 Allen screws that lock into. Actually, this is a. If you imagine, these are the locking points on the fretboard. Quite easy to drill in and glue these in, and this will be your fretboard. They're anchored by bolts. It will go like that, and as you tighten, you know, they obviously bend the fretboard, or if you were to ease them off, it would, you know, bend the other way. So that's how it works. That's how it anchors to the guitar. Yeah, so, sorry, what was the question?
Well, you kind of touched on it there, in the kind of maybe going back to the design and altering it a bit, but what would you say is the future for the Dr. Fret Floating Fretboard concept?
Well, it is...
Broad question, I know.
It is just a concept. It's an idea that I had that has come to fruition in this. The future for it, well, maybe make another few guitars with them. Well, actually, no. What I'm trying to do at the moment is I've got an old Strat neck that I'm currently warping in a vise to try and bend it to retrofit with a floating fretboard. I mean, I guess for me, I'd love to, you know, talk to other people that might be interested in investing, or maybe think about doing a Kickstarter or crowdfunding or something like that, to see if we can make this, you know, work. You know, there's still a lot of things that I could improve. This is, after all, just, you know, the first prototype. But, you know, the thing that I was most pleased about is that it worked. You know, I've got a guitar that sounds great, It's very playable, and has a warped neck. You know, not
Yeah.
many luthiers would build a guitar
Yeah,
purposely to have a neck that is unplayable. And it would be unplayable if it wasn't for the floating fretboard concept.
Exactly. Very good. I think that rounds this interview up.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And don't forget to check out my Facebook page, Dr. Fret A and E Flat Surgeon. Obviously, as well as building guitars, I do repairs, custom wiring mods, all those kind of things. So, you know, come and check me out and drop us a message and like the page.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.